Okay, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something that honestly sounds a little bit like magic. We're gonna build an analog machine that actually performs complex calculus, and we're gonna do it without writing a single line of code. I know, right? No software. It's just pure hardware, and it is absolutely one of the most elegant foundations of electronics.
Just think about that for a second. How exactly do you do calculus if you don't have a digital processor or some, complex software algorithm crunching the numbers? Well, we kind of have to step back in time a bit and look at how early engineers actually solved this, because they used just a handful of physical electronic components to solve continuous mathematical operations in real time, literally doing math with physical parts.
And honestly, this perfectly illustrates the historical origin of the op-amp. The clue is right there in the name, operational amplifier. Long before we were just using them to, say, boost audio signals or drive sensors, they were quite literally designed as the very core of analog computers. Just by arranging different feedback components around them, these little chips could add, subtract, average, and even precisely integrate and differentiate signals.
So the real magic trick here is kind of hiding in plain sight. If you take a close look at a baseline inverting amplifier, you'll see we're simply swapping out the standard feedback resistor for a capacitor. That's it. Just that one single component swap completely transforms the entire circuit into a full-blown calculus machine.
Let's break down the physical math in action here. First, your input voltage is converted into a current by the input resistor. Now, because the op-amp's inverting node acts as what we call a virtual earth, meaning it holds steady right at exactly 0 volts, that current basically has nowhere else to go but straight up into the feedback loop. So think of the capacitor sitting up there like a bucket. The current just pours in, charging it up over time. And that voltage building across it, that physically represents the continuous sum of the input, the area under the curve, the exact mathematical integral.
Okay, but here's the catch. And there's always a catch, right? The circuit we just described is what we'd call a pure or ideal integrator. On a whiteboard, it is mathematically perfect, it's beautiful, but in an actual physical application, in the real world, it's actually fundamentally flawed.
So the absolutely crucial point to remember is that all real-world circuits have these tiny microscopic imperfections. We're talking tiny DC offsets and bias currents. Now, because a pure integrator capacitor acts essentially like an open circuit to DC signals, it gives the amplifier infinite DC gain, literally infinite. And because of that infinite gain, even the absolute smallest microscopic error is going to be continuously integrated, which means the output is inevitably going to drift over time until it just violently saturates right up against the power supply rails. And boom, your math is completely ruined.
So how do we fix this? Well, engineers do something that's honestly incredibly counterintuitive. They make the circuit deliberately impure. They go in and add a parallel feedback resistor right alongside that capacitor. It's such a clever engineering workaround, really. By providing a safe little escape path for that tiny DC error current, it firmly bounds or limits the circuit's gain at those low frequencies.
Bounding the DC gain with that extra parallel resistor, we effectively limit the dynamic range. And that is exactly what ensures the amplifier output won't drift off into saturation anymore. It's a brilliant trade-off. At very low DC frequencies, it just behaves like a regular, perfectly stable amplifier. But once you hit higher frequencies, that capacitor takes over and it goes right back to acting as a highly accurate integrator. Best of both worlds. Zooming out for a second to talk about why this actually matters. Why do we even care about analog math today in such a digital world? We care because this deliberately impure little math machine is out there actively powering incredibly vital everyday technology, and it's doing it without relying on heavy digital software, which makes the whole process so much faster and just infinitely smoother.
We're talking about running the high-resolution analog to digital converters inside things like those portable digital multimeters you probably have sitting on your workbench right now, or using it to instantly calculate an object's exact physical position based entirely on a raw velocity sensor. The Op-Amp Integrator is literally everywhere. It takes a raw, continuous physical speed, integrates it over time, and instantly outputs an exact distance. No code, just pure physics.
Which really leaves us with one pretty fascinating thought to close out this explainer today. If just one single capacitor and a basic, everyday op-amp can accurately do complex calculus in the literal blink of an eye, what other powerful secrets do you think are hiding inside our basic analog components?